time it is. Marvin Devine, Huber, Axel, and you know how we do. Yeah, I got the juice. Whip game cool, make them look like cool. Always play cool, that's the biggest rule. Forget what they doing, keep on doing. Like 22. Ask me how I made it right here in the booth. I'm always pursued cause of what I pursue. That's greatness, yeah, I gotta make it, I got things to lose. Boy, wanna get in my crew, but you can't get in my crew. Me, Axel, and Huber, way too fireable. When this joint drop, better call the troops. And when you hear the drop, better raise the roof. Better raise the roof. You already know what happens when we link up. Let's go. Yeah, I got the juice. Yeah, I got the juice. Big game cool, make them look like cool. Always play cool, that's the biggest rule. Forget what they doing, keep on doing.
What is going on, everyone? What is going on? Welcome back to the Locked In Podcast, episode 245. I want to welcome in my brother, my friend, back into the podcast tonight. My bro, Zach Round. What is up, brother? Thank you for joining tonight.
Hey, what's going on? Thank you so much for having me on, dude. It's been a great pleasure to be on tonight.
Yeah, man. It's been a minute. It's good to have you back in here, man.
Oh yeah, it's been a long time, things are getting in the way and just, life, man. Just life.
Yeah, man. Life is life, and that's for sure. That's for sure. I can't believe we're like already into this year, and now we're almost pretty much 2 months into 2026. It's crazy. Time is just flying.
Oh yeah, time's flying way by.
Yeah, for sure. So guys, it's what we're going to be covering tonight. If you guys didn't see the promotion, so the tagline is, I'll tell you what we're covering and I'll tell you what the tagline is. So like the tagline for like the podcast tonight is gender wars are not a war. It's unhealed trauma, unhealed wounds. Basically saying there's a big divide right now going on just in the world in general. There's divides racially. There's divides gender wise. There's a lot of men that are hating women due to their own past trauma. There's a lot of women that are hating men due to their own past trauma, and there's a lot of unhealed wounds out here. So we're gonna we'll dive into that. It'll be really free flowing, and then also we'll touch on how there's a lot of divide in this country, racially and everything like that. These types of things can be a touchy subject for a lot of people, but I know, as a Christian, we're supposed to love each other. That's basically the gist of it, and a lot of people have their views. This isn't a political podcast. It's not a right or left. It's none of that type of stuff. It's just honestly loving one another, loving your neighbor as you love yourself, right? That's what it preaches the Bible. So we'll dive a little bit into that too towards the end. And we're going to see how many guests come in here tonight. I know a couple had to cancel. Rob had to cancel. Nina had to cancel. Joy, who was in the promotion too, she won't be on like live, but she had some good points to add. So, we'll get to those as well. And yeah, we'll see who comes in here tonight. I'm not sure if Rich and Allison make it in, but if they do, cool. We'll rock. But yeah, guys, so excited to hop into this one. As always, if you're watching on YouTube and you're not already subscribed, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, hit that little notification bell too next to it. Turn those notifications on, because if you like content related to personal growth, we release episodes typically every Thursday around 7:30, so you don't want to miss it. Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching on Facebook, I'm assuming you're already part of the community, so thank you for that. Just like on YouTube, though, hit that like button. Really, really helps us out with the algorithm. It helps us push this content out to people that need to or want to see it. And as always, comment in tonight, guys. We definitely like to engage. So if you comment from YouTube, I can throw your comments on the screen. If you're commenting on Facebook, I still monitor the Facebook channel, so I can read them out loud. Due to privacy concerns, I can't throw them on the screen, but that's okay. And yeah, guys, just enjoy the podcast. Let me pull Facebook up so I got it, so that way if anything comes in, I can be on top of that.
All right.
Already got some good views coming in. No comments yet, but a lot of views.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. This is a big topic, man. There's just we were kind of talking a little bit behind the scenes. I'll just jump into it. Basically, I see it a lot myself, in the dating world. It's just there's a lot of divisiveness, and you could be a healthy, secure person, but if somebody else still has kind of wounds from past failed relationships, say they were married and they went through a divorce, a lot of times people bring that in to their current connection, and that's why a lot of times there's either failed connections because of that, or two people could also have that trauma too and be bringing that in, or there's just a lot of people that I'm starting to notice are being really adverse to actually dating. They'll either more casual or it's not anything serious. A lot of people are more adverse to that, and I think a lot of it stems from that deep trauma. It's just because a lot of it is, it's like, if you really get to the root of it and you talk to people, a lot of it is from failed past relationships or the difficulty trusting other people. And it's really understanding if you've been through crazy circumstances, if you, God forbid, you dealt with like a narcissist, or you dealt with people who were physically abusive, emotionally abusive, cheaters, got cheated on, you hear stories crazy all the time. Like, somebody could be married for 20 years, come home, find their wife or their husband with someone else. And it's like, I just can't imagine like being with somebody for so long, and then finding that happen.
Mm-hmm.
It built a lot of trust issues. That's going to cause you to like really not trust people. But that's why I say that, like, you really need to take time in between these things, and really just try. I think the biggest thing is to love yourself, right? Because your self-esteem can take a big dip in these types of scenarios. And yeah, like, loving yourself is so critical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's very critical. I think it's the aspect that you need to go into relationships the most with is love yourself. If you can't really love yourself, you're not in the space to love someone else.
Yeah, man. If you're not I always say that, if you're not pouring into your own cup, there's nothing for you to be able to pour into other people. Because sometimes we bleed ourselves dry trying to, help our partner, or even people that have kids. They give everything they have to their kids, and they're like, yeah, of course, that's how we're going to be wired, right, to give everything to our kids, our partner. But we've touched on attachment styles on this podcast, and I think, like, if you're very anxiously attached, you're probably going to overgive to your partner. If you're more avoidantly attached, you're going to give less, because they're avoidant people typically aren't very emotionally expressive. They typically value their independence heavily. Now, if you're securely attached, you know how to kind of find that balance, whereas you're a giver, but you also don't give so much that you bleed yourself dry. You have to be able to find the balance that you love yourself enough to be like, I'm giving so much, this person's not reciprocating. Okay, I need to set boundaries, which are very important.
Yes, yeah. That's very important. I definitely can see where that comes from. Um, I am just learning all about all this stuff with, relationships and like the divide and everything. So it's very eye-opening, and from
Mhm.
just coming at it from one side and seeing like, oh, most of the stuff that you hear is wrong. At least in
Yep.
my case, like most of that I've heard was wrong. And I'm just like, wait a minute, what else about my reality is wrong?
Yep. Yeah, it kind of makes you like rewire. Like you have to kind of rewire because if you were brought up or taught differently, right? And then you start to realize as you get into like the real world situation, like, hey, like a relationship for the first time or something. Yeah, that's how you
Hmm.
kind of learn. That I feel like nobody can give you the perfect advice, right? It's like you could write
Yes,
a whole book, on things, but until you're in this situation, you know, you're gonna be who you are in that relationship, and you adapt the way you adapt. It's like there's no one size fits all.
exactly. Yeah. There's no, and it's not anyone's way either in that relationship. It's 50-50. You got to meet in the middle, and somebody's going to get screwed over. Most likely it's both you in some certain aspect, but it's in a way to where you can be like, okay, I can deal with that. But
Yep,
I know that it makes my partner's life easier.
yep. Exactly, exactly. I think we have certain things right. That's how a lot of relationships are. It's like compromise, right? Like
Hmm.
we have to be willing to compromise on certain things. And I always say that too. I think love is very sacrificial. Like we sacrifice a lot for the people that we love. So especially if we're with our partner, right? That's going to be the person you're going to spend. If you get married to that person, that's going to be the person who you're going to spend the majority of your time with, we live with our parents, we grow up with our parents, but then when we find our spouse, right, that's becomes our most important person. It's like you still
Yeah.
love your parents, but as a man, your wife is going to become, of course, God first, God
Yeah,
first, and then
exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, God will be first, and then it'll be your wife and your kid. If you have kids, your kids.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, love is very sacrificial. And I was actually just talking to Joy about this the other night. It's very sacrificial. It's very love is kind for sure. It's patient, and yeah, it's definitely like a lot of compromise. But that compromise should be reciprocal too, and that's finding the balance, because I know a lot of people. I was like this too in past relationships. Some of them just over giving, and that had nothing to do with my partner. You know what I mean? It wasn't their fault. Honestly, that was my own fault not setting boundaries. Right? Like that's internal. Over giving, over giving, over giving, but not. But also, if you're not getting the reciprocal, right, you have to acknowledge that and be like, hey,
Exactly. Yeah.
it throws off the balance.
Yeah. It
And
can't be an unhealthy side to it. It's got to be balanced. Yeah.
yep,
Totally
nope,
agree.
yep. And if we're the one who's on the other side of it, or we're the one not being reciprocal, we need to be self aware enough to catch that too. And
Exactly.
relationships, there's different seasons, right? Some seasons it's like it's pure bliss, everything's well, and there's other seasons where you're definitely going to be butting heads, and there's definitely going to be conflict. And I think how you navigate conflict is important too. you know
Exactly, yeah. And that's kind of where like the hard conversations come in. You need to have certain conversations before you get married so you know like, hey, is this what I'm signing up for or is this just in the moment, you know?
Yeah, definitely. There's a book that I talked about on this podcast, I think over a month ago. It's called "The Nine Essential Conversations to Have Before You Say I Do," and
Mhm.
basically it touches on child, like how you would raise children, what your idea of sex looks like, right? Like consistency, what financially, that's a big conversation, and then it encourages that if you can't if those conversations are too stressful for the two of you to have um by yourself, they say to if you're involved in a church, get church counsel involved, and just sit down and talk about it, because the whole concept of that book is to have a doubt-free wedding day, that when you walk down the aisle, you've had all those hard conversations, you've done all the work up front, so that way
Mhm.
that the odds of you getting divorced is going to be a lot slimmer. Could things happen? Sure, but
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah,
That's a
negative things can happen for sure, and they will. They will. Like things are not going to be all sunshine and rainbows, like you said,
Yep.
and there will be a time where negativity will happen, and you also have to learn about like each other's conflict styles. That's a huge thing to go over. Is how do you deal with conflict? How do we deal with conflict together? What does it look like to successfully navigate it? And that sort of stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one because someone might have been raised in a household where their parents raise their voices and yell. It's like you may have been raised in a household where that's not a thing, right? And it's like
Hmm.
you guys have to figure out like a healthy conflict style. I have I know some people. It's like they're like, not even in current relationships, but in past relationships, and they would come to me with things and it'd be like, um, yelling and calling each other out their name all the time, and it'd be like asking like my opinion on it, and I'd be like, if you want my honest opinion, it's completely unhealthy. I'm like, you need to have the conversation where it's like the two of you shouldn't be riling each other up like that. And if my partner was doing that, I would disengage. I'd be like, hey,
Hmm.
look, let's come back to this when we're both cooled down. And look, and it's like, and if the person is not willing to do that, it's like, well, you don't engage until they are willing to do it. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
don't engage because you don't call each other out your name. I feel like when things get said, you can forgive, but those words are there forever. You don't forget those words when somebody says certain things to you.
No, no, words definitely stick around, and it's just it really stuck out to me when you said like when they come at you screaming and yelling. What does screaming and yelling do for you? What
No.
like why are we doing that? What's the benefit out of it? That's
Yeah.
where my mind goes, and it's almost like what's the point? We're
Yep.
yelling for what? Is it going to change the outcome?
Nope.
No. So,
No. Yeah. We're not going to be
mhm,
able to work through anything if we're yelling at each other because all that is it's our ego talking. That's all it is. We're
exactly.
trying to prove a point to be right, and it's like at the detriment of hurting the person that we love. You know what I mean? And it's like
Mhm.
now, like give yourself like a half hour to cool down. You're probably like, why did I say that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Now you can't take it back. But I mean, like, here's the thing: nobody's perfect. I feel like most people have been there at some point, and it's like you just learn from those things. You learn from it, and you don't make the same mistakes over and over again. That's literally the definition of insanity: just doing the same thing over and over again. So you learn, you grow
Yeah.
from.
Exactly, yeah. No one's perfect. So, I mean, I've been at the end of it to where I've screamed and yelled at people before. I've made that mistakes.
Yep.
And will I be the first person to admit it? No. Will I be the last person? No. Like people will make more mistakes. People down the line will make mistakes. It's how you can adapt from it and bring that into your situation.
Yep. Yep. And that's the sign of healthy growth, just being able to learn and grow from it. Yeah, 100%. Nobody's perfect. I mean, literally, we're sinful by nature. Like, if you believe in the Bible, like original sin, we're literally sinful by nature. There is nobody in the world that is perfect other than God. There's nobody. So, when you do make mistakes, it's like it's easy to beat ourselves up to. It's like, I think it's a really positive thing if you're self aware. If you're self
Hmm.
aware, it's like, okay, that's a step in the right direction because there's a lot of people that make those mistakes that are not self aware. And it's, you can't really change if you're not self-aware.
Yeah, exactly.
So, um, but a lot of people, this is what it comes like going back to this unhealed part. A lot of it is people they suppress a lot of the things. They don't let themselves feel it. And that is what comes out into other scenarios. So, um, the healed versus unhealed conflict. So instead of, it's just, there's a real divide. It's just a lot of people, I think a lot of it is if two people come into it right and they haven't healed, that can build a trauma bond. It can be two people that both have not healed their issues, both have not healed their hurt, and now they're in like a trauma bond. And it's like you could be going with emotions every single day, but you're not actually truly in a genuinely healthy relationship because a lot of it is just you're trauma bonding. and that becomes
Yeah.
and it's
I
just
mean, what I haven't done any research whatsoever towards it, but what does trauma bonding look like? How can you like
so.
decipher it from regular bonding?
Yeah, so I'll give you the actual I'll give you the actual definition, and then I'll tell you what like my thought is on it. Yeah, because it's a real thing. Yeah, no, it's and a lot of times it's just people coming in. It's just people coming in because they both have unhealed their own
Hmm.
thing. So it's a definition of it. From a psychological standpoint, is so the trauma bond is an unhealthy emotional attachment to an abuser, characterized by a cyclical pattern of abuse, intermittent positive reinforcement, making it difficult for the victim to leave the relationship. This bond is built on power imbalances, turbulent cycles of affection and mistreatment, which can occur in various relationships. And I think that's actually a perfect definition. What I would say is, I don't think all abuse has to be like physical abuse or like a
Hmm.
narcissist. It can be really slight. But like there's some partners, like I said, when we go to attachment styles, right? There could be partners that are really, really avoidant. They're people that they're unhealed, right? Because they grew up in households where they didn't talk about their feelings. There wasn't any type of emotion. And to be honest, I always say this. I love my parents. They're not bad people. Me and my brother me and my brother were 2 years apart. He's 2 years younger than me. We never were really ever able to have those like really emotionally deep conversations inside of our household. And that's just because I think that's the generation that my parents were raised in too. They were probably raised in a similar household. I recognize that. I know for my kids, I would never want that. There's things that I want
Hmm.
to emulate from my parents. There's things that I don't, but if I wasn't able to catch that, I probably could have grew up more avoidant. And a lot of people think that that's a health. Like some people think that's healthy. They're like, "Oh, I'm really independent." But when you're hyper independent to the point where you can't be vulnerable with your partner, that's a problem. That's a problem. And
That is, yes.
a lot of us men struggle with that. You can probably understand. You've probably seen people
Hmm.
like that. It's a pride thing. A lot of men think it's not masculine to be vulnerable. Have you ever seen that or felt
Oh
that?
yeah, I've heard that all the time. I've had people tell me all the time, and there's a certain extent to where I believe it's true to where yet you should mask your emotions, but there's also some times where you should be vulnerable and you should know who to be vulnerable around.
And that's the key. That's the key. I always say don't be vulnerable with everybody. I think that you can know who your circle is, the people that you can trust, the people that you can be vulnerable with. But yeah, no, if you're overly vulnerable with people that you don't really know or you don't have that bond with, people unfortunately can use your vulnerability against you, which is really a shame. Um, but yeah, no, I think us as men, right? Like we still have to be the leaders, right? We can't be overly emotional, but being able to have that safe space, like we should especially be able to have it with our partner. That's big. If you can't have that with your partner, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Um, down the line. A
That's the
lot of
main thing, yeah, out of
yeah,
partners, the main thing is peace. Do they bring you peace or do they not? Because if they don't bring you
yeah.
peace, then why are you with them?
100%. Do they add to your life or do they not? And some people get offended by that. They're like, well, why should I have to? You know what I mean? People do. They go like, oh, well, why am I not good enough how I am? It's like, no, you guys should be pouring into each other. I mean, you guys should both be adding to each other's life. The point is to grow together.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, and I think that comes into like the wounding part of it. So many people are defensive. I know so many like I'll say the women's side first and then the men. And any women out there, I'm not a woman. You can chime in and give your opinion on this. I know a lot of women that will be like, "Oh, that man this man like it could be something like this man doesn't do this, so oh, he's not shit." Or like it'll just be something like along the lines of like, oh, like this man doesn't make this amount of money, so I don't want to, a lot of it is like everybody is comparing what they see out on like social media and other things, and then they're judging somebody. And then like a man, the same thing, like, oh, my woman wants me to be in the Bible. I've seen this one from a man's perspective. It preaches servant leadership. And when a man hears that, I'm not a slave to my household. I'm not a slave to my wife. I'm not a slave to my kids. It's like, that's not what the Bible is talking about. We sacrifice for our family, but we lead by example. And a
Mhm.
lot of times that's us as men, right, we're supposed to be leaders. And a lot of men, I think, want the title of being a leader, but they want to act as a dictator, not actually
Exactly, yes.
not actually a leader, you know.
They
And
just want to do things blindly without realizing the consequences around them. They just think like, "Oh, it's good for me, so it's good for everyone," but that's actually not the case.
yeah, 100%. It's like if people just want to be, they just essentially they want to be the boss. Like they want to point fingers. They want to be like, I'm right, you're wrong. And it's like that's not real love. Like real love, it's like you lead by example. So if you're a Christian, it's like I want my wife to start doing this more, or I want my wife. Okay, well then why don't you start doing like small thing. I feel like as men, like when we can do the things that it's like, okay, have you been fully listening to your wife too? Maybe your wife has been complaining about something, or your girlfriend has been complaining about something for a while and you're not doing it. So now it's going to lead her not to want to do those things too. It's like, so we have to assess ourselves sometimes too. Here's the thing, as a man, I'm not saying that you might be doing all the right things and your lady still isn't, doing those things. And that's a whole other thing. I don't think anybody should have to stay in an unhealthy relationship. If you married the person, God forbid, you might have to start having those conversations and maybe going to therapy, whatever it is. But I think there just becomes such resentment, like, oh, my wife doesn't do this. And it's like, okay, well, how are you leading too? We have to also look internally. How are we carrying ourselves, right? As a husband, as a boyfriend, as a partner. Because a lot of times we're also not being the best partner that we could be too.
Mhm.
And ladies, same thing. Like just because men are leaders, it's like also, it's like Zach said. Like a lot of us don't want to. I think us as men, a lot of times we're relatively simple creatures. We generally want peace. Like we just want
Yeah.
a woman who could bring us peace. We go out to battle the craziness of this world, right? As men, we deal with all the craziness in the workforce and like everything that we deal with on a daily basis. We just want peace. That's it. Someone.
Exactly, yeah.
So if you got to fight battles when you go to work, and then you got to come home and you got to fight battles in your own household, it's like, okay, now everything is always chaos. And it's like, when is there ever peace? So
Exactly, yeah. You do not want to come home after a long 10-hour day to someone who's nagging, "Why did you fold the laundry? Why didn't you wash the dishes?" It's like, come on. Like why are you nagging me? Just let me relax real quick and then I'll do it. All right? Come on.
yeah, exactly. And it's like, and it's reciprocal too. Like I see it on both ends. Like I've also known guys that are like, they'll be working 8 hours and then their ladies working 12. And like, I've literally seen this. And it's like, I had a friend one time, he calls me and he's complaining on a Friday. He's like, man, like my girl is like working till like 8 o'clock. And I told her to tell her boss to stop making her work these crazy hours. And he's hopping on the video game at like 5:30 when he gets home. And he's like waiting for her to get done work to cook him dinner and like do the clothes and everything. I'm like, bro, she's working 12
Yeah.
hours. I'm like, so it goes both. And
Yeah.
and a man and a woman, these roles go vice versa. I'm like, we also need to use our discernment. Like, okay, it's like she's also working 12 hours, bro. Like
Exactly, yeah.
yeah, you can't expect her to do all the cooking and cleaning. He's like, oh, well, she likes to do that. I'm like, yes, I understand. But you also got to take into the fact that she likes to do it when she has the time, like when she's
Yeah,
working
when
12
she has
hours.
time, exactly.
Yeah. And
That's actually something that in my personal life that has gotten prevalent is my girlfriend's like, "Oh, I want to cook for you. I want to clean for you." I'm just like, "What?" Like what are you talking about? And she's like, "Yeah, I just want to be a stay-at-home girl and clean, but like right now we don't have money. We need money, and I'm in a good spot job-wise, blah blah blah." And I was like, "You do? Like, I thought this was a stereotype." I didn't know it was an actual thing where she enjoys it. Who enjoys that?
yeah.
I don't enjoy that. I know I don't. It's like,
That's
I'm
why we're
just
different, man. That's why we're
yeah.
different.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
just like, I'll do it. Do I like doing it? No. But do I like making your life easier? Yeah. So I'll do it right now. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends. That's why I say it depends on the season too. Like maybe our work is slower and they're working more than we are. Then hey, then we pick up that share of the load, right? Like
Hmm.
it's a partnership. It's people say 50-50. No, it's not 50-50. It's 100-100. It's 100%, 100%.
Exactly.
You both pour into each other.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I think it's crazy, man. Like we do look at it like that, right? Like, hey, we don't care to do those things, but I a lot of women that I've asked, like even career focused women, maybe not all of them. I think there's a lot of women that are very career focused and they enjoy that. But there's a lot of women that if you ask them honestly and they weren't being stubborn, they would tell you, like especially women that are mothers, they would rather be able to just stay home with their little ones and be able
Hmm.
to do the cooking and cleaning and have the man go to work. I understand in this society it's tough. It's really tough
It's super tough.
in this
I mean,
economy.
in my opinion, that's what believe the female gender, they were like, that's what they were supposed to do, is provide for their offspring, provide for the husband, and the husband was supposed to do the work.
Yeah.
That's what that's how it was traditionally, and I think that's how it was. I'm not 100% sure, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that's how it was biblically as well. And when I'm just like, oh, there's kind of a divide because everything just costs so much, first of all, and second of all, it's now becoming a trend where women work hard and they're the money winners in the relationship,
Mhm.
and it's just like yeah, so
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
for sure. And it's the thing is too, like it's like some men will be like, okay, well I could work 2 jobs, I could work 100 hours a week, but even when you're doing that, you're not getting a lot of time with your family, and when you are, you're
no.
sleeping or you're not sleeping. So it's like it's just not it's not good either way. It's like it's really difficult, and in this economy, that's it's unfortunate. Like we're in a certain economy, we can't do anything to change that. The only thing we can do is control what we do. And yeah, man, it's tough. Most people I know, the households that they're in, I'll be honest, their wives do not stay at home. Like when they have a baby, they get the maternity leave and stuff. But a lot of them are dual income households. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Most people I know. I know
Yeah.
a few that just the man is and they're doing very well financially. So it's especially when you bring kids into the mix to live comfortably, be able to put money into retirement, into savings, be able to travel a couple times each year, be able to get all the necessities and not be in debt. It, it's a lot. You have to be making a good amount of money. $100,000 a year to six figures at the base of six figures doesn't go as far as it did, 10, 15 years ago. It just
Yeah.
doesn't.
Well, over in Philadelphia and the other East Coast states,
Mm.
it's a lot easier to live off of six figures. In California, I think in order to live comfortably, you need to be making around $430,000 a year to live comfortably. And that's, well, I mean, that's, if you have a house, and despite, renting smaller places and whatnot. But if you genuinely are living just to two people to live comfortably, I believe it's around 430K, and then you add like 100K a year for each child.
My lord, yeah, California is like the worst, like the country. I think it's
Oh
like
my god, yeah.
California and New York are the worst. New
Oh,
York,
they're terrible. They're terrible. But I will say, California is gorgeous. You have opportunities to do whatever you can. You can go to the mountains and the beach in the same day. You can literally be in the water and on the snow in the same day, actual within the same, 10 hours. Where else can you do that? You can't really do that anywhere else, which is
yeah.
really cool. But it is freaking expensive because everybody wants to live here.
Yep, that's that. Yeah, no, everybody knows it. Seriously, it's just because of how beautiful it is. I see just like your mountain biking, man, the trails and how beautiful like the views are. It's just like we don't have that where I'm at. It's like a different dynamic, but it's
Yeah.
beautiful, man. The trails that you hit and stuff. I'm like, it's just yeah. No, California is gorgeous. The crazy thing is I've never been to California, but I know tons of people that have, and they
Okay.
all have said it's
Yeah.
gorgeous. And just
Well,
saying
come
it.
out here. We should do a live podcast.
Yo, man, I'm definitely down. I'm definitely down. We'll definitely have to do that. And then one day
Yeah,
you'll have to come out this way too, man. I'll treat you to like
exactly.
treat you to like a cheesesteak and stuff, man. I'll show you all the good spots.
Don't get me started with cheesesteaks, man. I would love some cheesesteaks. I would mess those things up.
Yeah, man. I'll show you the authentic spots. I won't show you the tourist traps because a lot of people come out here, man. They hit like the tourist traps and everything. But
No, no, you need the authentic hole in the wall original places.
yep, exactly. That's the spot where you're gonna get your best sandwich, man.
Yeah,
So
and you might get gonorrhea there, but
but yeah, man, we'll have to make it happen, man. I'll definitely come out to Cali, man. That would be that'd be dope. But do you see yourself maybe you don't know yet. Do you see yourself like long term staying in Cali or maybe making a move?
yeah, so I think for now I'm staying in Cali. I'm pretty sure long term it is Cali. I know my girlfriend, soon to be wife, don't tell her though I said that. Um, she wants to stay in California, specifically in Huntington Beach.
Okay.
That's where we're at right now. That's where she wants to stay for the rest of her life because she was born around here, and she's a surfer and she's in love with the ocean and she just can't live without it. So I'm like, I really don't want to be around California, but she's gotten me into surfing and snowboarding, and I'm just like, okay, I might want to stay in California.
Yeah, and you guys want to be happy too. Like, yeah, if you go to like a city environment, you're not gonna have that. You know what I mean?
No, if we go to Montana, I'm gonna have fun. She's gonna be like, I'm miserable.
Yeah,
What's there to do?
right. And then that would implode the whole everything because it's like she'll be miserable, and it's like, yeah, she'll probably be depressed. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it makes sense, man. That's where compromise comes in, right? That's for sure. That's a perfect
Yeah.
example. But yeah, man, wish you guys the best on that choice and
Thank you.
that
Thank you.
journey.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's what it comes into. But when I was going back to I guess the trauma bond part of it, yeah. So a lot of that is like I said, it doesn't have to be super like narcissistic abuse or like physical abuse when you go to trauma bonding. A lot of it can be you get into a relationship with somebody who's very avoidant, they're very independent. But then, like, if you're, say, you have unhealed wounds, and say you're anxious, right? Like, you're an anxious person because you were in a relationship with someone that didn't give you that love. Now you're trying to overprove yourself in this relationship, and then that person's avoidant. So you're over, like, it's that intermittent reinforcement. They're giving you a little, and then you're chasing, and it's like that. This becomes like a trauma bond. It's like a runner chaser dynamic. It's two people that are unhealed, opposite ends of the spectrum, and then this
Mhm.
is what happens. It's two people who are anxious and avoidant, and that's literally like a trauma bond. It's just two people who are together. They think it's love because they're like they get that little bit of dopamine, right? Like the little hit of dopamine, like, oh, they showed me a little bit that they love me. So now, oh, look, I'm in love with like and they think it's because it's high passion or high energy. They think that that's actually really love when really it's actually not. Literally I've seen people that have been in relationships like that, and they literally, you can see from the outside that it's not healthy, but it takes them, you can't force anybody out of anything. They have to go through that cycle until they get to a point where they recognize, okay, this is definitely not healthy. I shouldn't be with this person. I need to take time to heal. But this
Mhm.
is what happens when you have unhealed wounds.
Yeah.
Things that happen.
Yeah. Unhealed wounds definitely could bite you in the butt, and they've been close to biting me in the butt. Well, I guess I can say they bit me in the butt a little bit, but
Yeah.
I mean, now they're they're like I'd say about 90% healed, but I'm at the point to where I'm so emotionally mature to where I can kind of recover from it and be like understanding like, hey, this is a past thing and I don't know why, but and that's where the vulnerability part comes in, is where I'm just like, hey, so this is a past thing. I need your help because I can't do this on my own,
Right.
and it's a hard conversation for some people to have because the men, like for men specifically, because they want to be like, oh, I'll provide for you, I'll do everything, like I'll make sure you're safe, whatever. And it's hard for men to open up because they're just like, how can I do the providing if I can't really provide for myself? But
Right.
that's also where pride comes in, and you got to put your pride aside and be like, hey, we're no longer two separate people. We're going to become one person.
Yep. 100%. And sometimes it takes the right, like I'll say from a man's perspective, it takes the right woman to love and support us to be able to like bring that around too. Because if you have a partner that doesn't believe in you, doesn't fully support you, it's like it's really gonna make things a million times harder. That you honestly would be better off by yourself, because it's like if that person doesn't love and support you, but the right partner who like loves you and supports you and believes in you, honestly, it can really just change. It can change a lot. But I understand that too. It's like when you feel like you're in a tough season, right? Especially like we're providers, right? Financially, or we're in a tough season. What finances, like that's a touchy subject, and it's like a lot of men I feel like are out here struggling. You know what I mean in terms of that, and it kind of this actually goes back to my podcast topic last week. It was talking about um how men, we attach our value to what we do, and
Mm-hmm.
not actually who we are as men, as like our character. And that's a big thing. A lot of grown men struggle with this. I was in a connect group last year through my church, and the guy who he was actually on this podcast before, Nate Evans, he's a life coach and a speaker. um he's a big advocate for like men's mental health, and he says that all the time. He's like, a lot of men attach their value to what they provide, and they don't actually attach their value for who they are as men. It's like if and that's a real thing. Like there's this thing called retirement depression. A lot of men who become retired, right, they become depressed because all they did was attach their value to what they provided. So now that they're not working, they're depressed. Or if they get
Ah.
hurt, yeah, or if they get hurt, right, and they can't
Mhm.
work, they start to feel really bad about themselves because of the fact that they can't provide for their family.
Yeah,
And
exactly. I think there's also kind of a healthy middle line to that, to where you can attach your worth to your work, just because you don't want to totally unattach it, because that's the attachment to work is also your purpose. And from my experience, men drive on purpose. Where can I be of most use and of most purpose? And that's when it's healthy, and then when it gets unhealthy is when you get overly attached to it.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, of course, of course. You need purpose. Like, yeah, if you're someone who just if you just sit around, you don't do anything, you don't have any meaning or purpose in life, yeah, for sure. Like it's just like life's not really worth living at that point. If you don't have a
Mhm.
purpose, you don't have a drive, you don't have a mission of what you're trying to accomplish, for sure. I think it's just the unhealthy side of it is, hey, when we do need to slow down, are we willing to take the time to slow down? Or do like there's just such a thing nowadays with grind culture, hustle culture. Like I said this in the podcast last week. There's nothing wrong with working your ass off and grinding for your family, for yourself, to help other people, to make an impact on society. But
Mhm.
you have to be able to find that time to pour into yourself too, whether it's self-care, whether it's resting. That's another thing. A lot of men do not normalize resting.
No, they do not.
It's a real thing. We don't normalize that because we're like, oh, we're not doing enough. So me, myself included, like I'm somebody who, when it snows, like we get the snow out here, I hate being in the house. I hate like I can do things still on my computer and do things and find ways to keep myself busy, or like, whether it's for the podcast, other projects I'm working on, but I just hate it, man. Like it's like I feel like I'm always on the go, but I need to be better with slowing down because a lot of times I do
Mhm.
not.
Yeah, a lot of men, they replace their rest with energy drinks and think they can just keep going, keep going, keep going, until eventually it catches up. They get sick, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sick. I'll stop taking an energy drink." And then they're just like, boom, they just get blindsided by everything.
Yep, yep. Me included, man. I drink those gym energy drinks, the non-sugar, but like they're the sucralose ones. They're still not good for you. Or I'll drink like
Okay.
I drink coffee too. It's me included, man. It's just but it's self-awareness is step one. You figure that out, and you're like, okay, where can I slow down? Where can I pour into myself? And self-care can be something that's actually active. It could be exercising. Even
Oh
not
yeah.
lifting weights, going for a walk, taking time to literally just pray. Go, like open your Bible and just take time to pray.
Hmm.
Journal, whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's not feminine to journal, guys. Like it's these are the things that you can do to take care of your mental, take care of your mind, and make sure and honestly getting more sleep too. That's a thing that a lot of people struggle with, getting sleep. So
Yeah, sleep is very important. I've noticed that the past few days how important it is. Um, and you could also be getting a lot of sleep, but is it quality sleep? That's what really counts, is that quality sleep. If it's not quality, then it's like you can sleep for 12 hours. It's not quality though. You're not going to get anything done.
right, right. It's like, are you getting that REM sleep where you're actually in a deep sleep where you're actually relaxed and resting? Because if you're sleeping but you're consistently like waking up throughout the night or like but then going back to sleep, it's like it's not really, it's a lot of just breaks. It's not actually quality sleep. So
Hmm.
yeah, for sure. That quality sleep is important. And a lot of times it's you'll know because like when you wake up and you ever notice when you actually sleep more and you still wake up groggy, it's like you didn't really get quality sleep. You kind of just got sleep, but it wasn't really quality
Yeah,
sleep because you wake up still feeling tired or still feeling groggy.
exactly. And then also a thing that I found out recently is sometimes when you wake up and you're still groggy, that's because you're in the middle of your one of your sleep cycles. I
Yeah,
didn't I didn't understand that. Like, my
right.
girlfriend told me that, and I was like, "Wait, you have sleep cycles? Like, what? Like, what? It's like they're constant cycles? I thought it was just one sleep cycle that you slept through."
Literally, yeah. It's like I had to learn that too eventually. I was just like, yeah, I had to look into that. And I'm just like, yeah, it's crazy. But
Yeah.
it's yeah, but if you wake up in the middle of like a deep sleep cycle, yeah, you wake up kind of tired. So it's like it's all
Yeah,
about trying to
exactly. I'm like, "What?" Blew my
yeah.
mind. I'm like, "Damn."
Yeah, so I think that's the thing. It's like always about trying to find I guess like have a sleep schedule like when you go to sleep and just knowing your body because everybody's body's different of like how they when they want to wake, when they don't. I feel like my body just on like, and it's not always like I don't always just get up at this time. I'll go back to sleep for a couple hours, but my body like on command wakes up at like 4 a.m. every single day. Even if I just get up, use the bathroom, I'm up at like without an alarm, just 4 a.m. But I think there were for years I was setting alarms at 4 a.m. So I don't know if
Mm,
it's just my body, my mind just knows, but it'll be like 4:05, I'm up, like 4:02, like I'm right around 4 o'clock, I'm up, and I'm just like it's
yeah.
crazy.
That's how it was with me for the longest time. And well, it still kind of is, but when, like, 5:30 comes around, I'm up.
Yeah.
I'm just up. I'm like, I'm not, awake. I wanna go back to bed. Like, why am I up?
Yeah, literally. It's like it's still dark, especially this time of year. Like at 5 a.m. it's still dark. It's
Yeah.
not like there's no sun.
Mhm.
It's just like damn. But yeah, it's a real thing. But guys, like we have to be better about taking the time for ourselves. Like it's just, as men, like I said, like taking the time to rest where we can and just being intentional about it because um if we don't, it's a struggle. It's a struggle without it. But
Yeah.
yeah, just going back to the healing, guys, you have to take time to heal. Healing is different for everybody. I think people think like after they get out of say like a traumatic situation, and that's the thing. It depends on the depth of trauma that you dealt with in a past relationship or a marriage.
Mhm.
Um, it could take you years. It could take you months, or it could take you weeks. But there's people like you can work with therapists. Like there's different types of things that you know what I mean. You can work through to yourself, but just taking time to really grieve things and not really bring that type of unhealthiness into another relationship. That's like the worst disservice you can do because you might actually meet the right person, but if you're unhealed, you could really just sabotage it or ruin it because of the fact that you didn't take that time. So it's a
Yeah.
real thing, you know.
Oh, exactly. And it's not always negative trauma either. You could have someone who's had bad experiences in the past and you start treating them good and they're just like, "Why are you treating me good? I don't know what this is because I'm so used to negative experiences." So it's not always, you know, it's not always the healed thing that sets them off. It's the why are you not treating me how I've been treated in the past? I don't trust you because of that.
Yeah, that is real. That is real. Yeah. So if you yeah, if you were in like abusive or just like not even just abusive, dysfunctional relationships where you had, relationships and not just that, maybe your family life was dysfunctional. And so you see that chaos as normal. That chaos looks as healthy to you, like because like you might know it's not healthy, but it looks normal. It looks safe
Mhm.
because that's what you saw. Maybe your dad and your mom were dysfunctional, or you were in relationships that were dysfunctional. So that looks normal. So if someone comes along willing to give you healthy, consistent love, they show up for you consistently. That might look completely unsafe to you because of the fact that you have not recognized that what you had dealt with in the past was actually unhealthy and you have not
Exactly,
healed.
yeah.
It was so
Yeah,
true.
it's a bunch of it's a bunch of training that you have to do, like neural pathway training. Like you have to reconfigure your brain to be like, "Hey, this is normal, not, something weird that's going on. This is normal. Like we're okay." And it's a lot of talking, and it's a lot of, just like getting used to it over time, and talking about it and breathing through it and not freaking out about it. Just kind of bringing it up and be like, "Hey, not used to this. I need your help."
Yep, exactly, exactly. It's like that's what it is. It's like just being able to reach out and talk and be able to like have those types of conversations is so important because it's like you know, it's sad because I think a lot of people go through life and they really don't recognize that what they had dealt with in the past. And sometimes it just takes a lot of failed relationships, a lot of failed things to like maybe, hey, something's not right. Like what happened? Sometimes that's what it takes. It just takes a bunch of failed things to happen till you realize like, oh, okay, what I was doing isn't healthy. But it's like, and then a lot of times it's not your fault, right? Like if you were brought up in that
Yeah.
dynamic, you didn't choose it. Say, especially like relationships where you were with a toxic partner or you grew up, God forbid, in your family, it happened,
Oh yeah.
you didn't choose your parents, to act like you didn't make your parents act like that. So, um,
I
yeah,
mean, failure is the greatest teacher, though. So
yep, exactly, exactly. But it's just, yeah, I always say there's a lot of people walking around out here, and it's just it's hurt people triggering more hurt people. So it's like somebody could come in, and it's like there's a real saying that says "hurt people hurt people." So somebody could come into a
mhm.
relationship with a healthy partner, hurt them. Now that person's hurt. Now if they don't heal, they go to someone else and hurt them, and it's a constant cycle of people hurting each other. It's just
Exactly. Yeah.
unhealed people out here walking around. So, guys, take your time. Healing looks different for everybody. So, figure out what you need to do to heal. Grieve it, cry it out, do whatever. I don't care if you're a man. Even if you got to do it in private. Figure it out. We're also not robots. Like we're humans. You know what I mean? It's all right to
Mhm.
feel. You know what I mean? It doesn't make you any less masculine. I'd say like therapy and things, that was something that I never looked at until about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. I started going to therapy, and even now I feel like I'm in a really good headspace, but I still go.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't always really have negative things to say. I just have positive things to say to my therapist. But I would challenge, like, if you even I don't care how great you're doing in life, I feel like most men can still benefit from it, and it make you less masculine to go to therapy. I would actually challenge it makes you more masculine because you're going against the grain. You're going against the stigma. And I would actually say that makes you more masculine to admit
Mhm.
that, you know.
Yeah, I think to a certain extent, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It certainly isn't something that men follow just because it comes back to like a trend. It's trendy to not and mask your feelings and just shove them down. And at first it started like, oh, jokingly, I'm gonna shove it all down, blah blah blah, and then now it's like, oh, now we put it in weights, or now we put it in doing like death defying stuff.
Yep.
So it's definitely more of a trend now to put emotions into something that could potentially be negative. But
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. There's a book that I dove into last year. I'm actually rereading it right now. It's called The Man the Moment Demands by Jason Wilson. And it talks about not the masculine man, but the comprehensive man. So
Mhm.
you can still be a masculine man and do those types of things, you could still like it's called a well-rounded man. So it's like you can be vulnerable, you can be emotionally intelligent, but you also still hit the gym, you're still training, you're training to you can train to like know how to defend yourself, know how to fight. So you can still be a protector, you can still be a provider, you can still be well-rounded financially. It's like just going like being vulnerable. It's like it doesn't make a man super weak. Now, is there such thing as I think like overly emotional? Yeah, I for
Yeah.
sure though. Like if you let your emotions control you to the point where you can't be on your mission, be on your purpose, for sure. A balance is important. You know what I mean? That's why I say though. It's like I think that book's a great book to anybody who's interested out there. It's literally called I'm not a sponsor of that book. It's just I think it's a good book. It's called the Man the Moment Demands by Jason Wilson. It talks about the comprehensive man. That's the concept. Talks about as sons, as brothers, as fathers, as husbands, as friends, and just shows how a man looks in all different situations as a comprehensive man. But
Okay.
yeah, but
Sounds interesting.
yeah, for sure. And I know guys, we're talking a lot from a man's perspective, but we're honestly the only ones on here right now. So it's just like we're kind of talking from like our own perspective. But
Yeah.
Joy actually, I have some quick notes from her too that she gave me for this episode. So thank you, Joy, if you're watching. I appreciate you. She said that with gender wars, how social media amplifies trauma. And
100%.
That's such a true point. It says they don't promote accountability; they promote engagement. Yes. That trauma is like tenfold with social media. That's actually a really good point. I didn't really talk too much about social media on here tonight, but social media, you see like the negativity on social media and it fuels people. I swear. Like you see like men on podcasts talking trash about women. You see women on podcasts talking trash about, and it's just like I feel like those unhealed wounds and that unhealed trauma, it like feeds into it and it riles them up even more.
Well, some of the times the guys just say it just to say it, or the girls just say it to say it because they want views. They want to, bait the viewer to engage with their post so the algorithm can boost it. And that's the problem with social media is everyone wants to be the next, Logan Paul or whatever the hell is whoever is famous now, I guess. But everyone wants to be that next superstar and that next person in the spotlight. And it's just so annoying because it drives away from people and their humanity, and it just makes people just battle and fight and nitpick at each other, and it's like that's not the purpose. We need to unite, and we need to just face battles together.
Yes. Very well put. Very well put. Yeah, we need to come together. It's like that is the problem. It's like things like the media, social media, they divide us. So instead of as men and women, like I think masculinity and femininity are beautiful. They're polar. They're literally like polar opposites, but they come together and they balance each other. We need feminine women. We need masculine men. Like these things balance
Exactly.
each other.
They're yin and yang. That's what it
Exactly.
is. They're yin and yang, they complement each other. And it's two separate things that make one beautiful object, one beautiful thing.
100%. Yeah, Joy said agree completely. Yeah, no, it's Joy. Your point is like spot on too. Like it's what she said. Like the point that you were just bringing up, Zach, and then how she had said it. They literally promote engagement. It's about how many clicks you can get, how the algorithm sees you. And a lot of people can't discern that. It's not actually about that accountability. It's about that engagement. Like, hey, what's going to get me the most clicks? So what people do is what do? They sell out. They sell out to promote a point that's actually really damaging to a lot of the masses. A lot of people will buy into this stuff and believe it. And now we just got a bunch of unhealed people out here just promoting this stuff.
Just spewing comments. They're like, yeah, this is great. Or, oh my gosh, I can't believe you. And it's just, it just causes a huge debate. And it's
yeah. And
stupid.
I agree. It is stupid. A lot of the people out here don't actually believe the stuff they're saying either, most of the time. I'll even say to like I listen to like all different types of music, but in Philly, like I listen to rap and stuff too. But like I know how to like discern the lyrics. Like, I might like the beat, I might like the song, but I don't take like the lyrics like seriously. It's like, but
Mm-mm.
people will hear things like, I'll give you an example, Future. Future raps about drugs and like all this other stuff and like lean. Future doesn't even do that stuff. Like that's the thing. It's just to make money. Like they sell
Yeah.
to an audience, and it's just that's literally what it is. Like it's not even, a lot of them don't are rapping about things they don't even do. Like majority of rappers are not gang members. It's like when you actually like look at it, the stuff they rap about is not actually stuff they're doing. Now some of them, yeah, for sure, we're former retired like gang members or like, but a lot of them aren't. But it just promotes,
Oh yeah.
unfortunately, a negative message. I'm not saying I don't listen to rap music, because I do, but some people take it so seriously. But just like the social media stuff, people take it so seriously.
Yeah. And social media just amplifies it too.
Hmm.
Because you could get one person saying one thing and then another person takes what he says, chops it up, and to make it decipher something else, and then another person takes it, chops it up to decipher something else.
Yep.
And before you know it, that one phrase turns into like four different controversial phrases. And now they're getting heat for all of it, but they're also getting money because it causes engagement. And it's just like, what's reality?
Right, right. It's like everything you're being taught, it's like rewiring your brain to like a false reality. It's not
Mhm.
even, it's really a shame. She said, without accountability, everything feels like war. And until both men and women heal what hurt them, every relationship will feel like a battlefield. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
literally. That's
Accountability is, I mean, with the accountability aspect, I feel like in itself, that's just an aspect of pride. Don't want to
yep.
take accountability. It's because of their ego, because they're prideful and they don't want to take it. And they've got to realize, hey, I messed up. Let me
Yep.
take accountability. And yeah, it's going to damage my ego, but who's it going to damage your ego to? A little bit to your partner, a little bit to your family. It's not like you're going out on Jimmy Kimmel Live and apologizing for a little argument you had to your girlfriend, right?
Yep.
It's not that serious. Like take a little bit of accountability and be like, "Hey, yeah, I admit I messed up. I won't do it again. I'll be sure," or not say I won't do it again, but kind of go at them and be like, "Hey, I'll try my hardest not to do it again, and if I catch myself doing it, I will slow down and try to avoid it."
Right. Absolutely. And that's the absolute key. Yeah. Because we're always going to make mistakes. We're never going to be
Mhm.
perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. Like if you say I'm never going to hurt you again, or I'm never going to, it's just not true.
It's
Now
impossible.
the level of hurt is different. Now nobody's saying like, oh, you go out and cheat on your or do something crazy. I'm just saying, like, but you are going to hurt your partner even in minimum ways. There's going to be times where you guys have miscommunication. Maybe something that you think is not a big deal, maybe a very big deal to your partner. So there's going to be ways that you're going to hurt each other. There's just no such.
Exactly.
There's
Mhm.
no thing as I'm never going to hurt you. It's like you may have good intentions and still hurt your partner.
Yeah, the thing that I used to say what you said was, "Oh, I'll never hurt you again." I used to believe that, and then now it's like I will try. What I tell my partner is, I say I will try my hardest not to hurt you the way I hurt you, and I
Yep.
don't like it the way I hurt you, and I will try my hardest not to because I know A, it hurts you, B, it hurts me, and then inversely, because it hurts you, it hurts me. So it's like a double negative on me as well. So it's like, but I don't want to hurt you, even though I'm hurting you. Yeah, it's just yeah.
Yep. It's like I will work my best. It's like, yeah, like I'll work to be my best to not hurt you. It's like it's like, and I will not intentionally hurt you. Like, hey, there might be
Mhm.
times when I do something that maybe will hurt you. It's like, and then and then like too, like I would want my partner to communicate that to me.
Yeah.
Communicate that to me. If it hurts you, don't be passive aggressive. Don't stonewall me. That's something I don't tolerate. I'm not okay with stonewalling. I'm not okay with the passive aggressive stuff. I want somebody that can communicate with me, like, hey, look, if I hurt you, communicate with me, and I will do the same thing for you too. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if I feel hurt, I'm not going to be passive aggressive. I'm not going to make you read my mind. No, I'll vocalize that. And like, hey, we can
Hmm.
start from that. You know, that's important too.
100%.
Communicate.
Communication is key.
Yep, yep. It's so big, man. I feel like communication is up there with like they say one of the biggest causes of divorce is like finances and stuff. Well, trust and communication are right up there too, man. Like you need to be able to
I
trust your
feel
partner.
like the finances come from a lack of communication.
Yep, yep. True,
So
true. It's like
I think communication is probably the biggest reason for divorce because other things happen.
yeah, yeah. 100%. Yeah, finances come as like a byproduct for sure. Like it's like, yeah, without communication and trust, finances aren't anything. It doesn't really matter if you don't have if you have an unfaithful or untrustworthy relationship and you can't communicate with one another. What does it matter if you have $1 million home? You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
there's nothing there. Yeah, so it's just like it's communication allows you to get on the same page. It allows you guys to talk about things and just have those deep conversations and not fear them too. Like I feel like deep conversations, it's going to be natural to be a little bit afraid to have those
Hmm.
conversations. You know what I mean? But if you guys can navigate those conversations together, it's just going to make you stronger, to be honest.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know.
It's what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and that's the same thing with relationships. What doesn't kill it makes it stronger.
Yep. And as you navigate conflict together, you learn to trust each other more. Be like, hey, we navigated things like this before. We can get through this together. Like we've been through this storm and that storm. And it's like you start to really respect and trust each other, like as you guys go through those storms. So there's no relationship or marriage. And if you get married, there's definitely no marriage like that is gonna you're gonna go through without storms. Like
Hmm.
they're gonna be there. I always say if you want no type of conflict or storms, just be single. Literally be single because it's like it's not gonna happen.
Well, I mean, there's also conflict with being single as well. It's the
True.
conflict of being lonely. Now it's an internal conflict versus this is more of an external conflict.
Yep. And some people are okay with that. That's why I say some people can go their whole life being single.
Hmm.
I literally have seen like my mom has a friend and she's single, she's in her 70s and she has no kids and she works out, she takes care of herself, she loves her life. But you know what? She also is she's not a bad person. She's just relatively selfish. It's like, yep, well, if she had a husband and kids, she wouldn't be able to be that way. So some people just that's how they live their life and they're okay with it. And, she doesn't feel lonely. And it's like, some people are different, but I think the majority of people were wired for human connection. And
Oh yeah,
a lot of people want somebody, you know?
I think everyone's wired for human connection to a certain extent.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's how we
Yeah.
are. Even introverted people, like we're wired for some type of connection. You know what I mean? It's like even
Hmm.
if you're introverted, it's just that connection may look different to you depending on
Yeah, it may
personality.
it may look very different.
Yeah, depending on your personality. But yeah, people I've known people that have had lots of accomplishments, lots of things, but like no friends, no nothing, and literally depressed. I won't vocalize like a name, but I remember at one point I lived next to somebody and you could hear, unfortunately, like through the wall screaming. He was success. The guy was successful, had a bunch of things. He was still living at home and stuff, but you could hear the screaming, like the like nobody cared, like this the. But he was had a doctorate, like all these things. It didn't matter though. He's in his 20s and everything, but it's like you don't have friends or connection and it's like and that's a sad thing. It's like
Mm.
you could have all these accomplishments but if you don't have anybody to share things with, it's lonely, man.
It's very lonely.
So I say I'm like put yourself out there. Like I think today too there's a lot of ways to make friends because you can make friends through online. There's things like I think it's called meetup.com. If you live in certain cities or areas, you can find people that like the same things that you do, and you could like get in chat forums and like, hey, why don't we meet up here? And like, you just be careful. It's like online dating. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
But you can meet people that have similar interests in you. I feel like there's friends for everybody. You could be a weird person, and still there's people that also have weird hobbies. You can find people to hang out with and do things. Like it's
Mhm.
important. It's
Oh yeah.
important. Connection is important. Like you have your community, right? Like biking and stuff. Like you have your community. You have that camaraderie. That's important, man.
Oh yeah. I mean I have a little bit of a community going on over there. Just there's a lot of people in there that they don't respect what I do and I don't respect what they do, and it's kind of
Okay.
mutual, but you know, whatever.
Right.
Right? They're just
Right.
jealous, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You're getting famous on social media. People are gonna get I feel like when you put yourself out there, man, like it's you're gonna get hate. You know what I mean?
Oh,
You're
for
gonna get
sure,
hate.
100%. You can't dish it out without taking it yourself. And that's one of the main things that social media has kind of taught me is like, hey, you can't put your life out there and expect everyone to react to it amazingly. Some people are
Nope.
not going to react to it. Sorry for the noise in the background, by the way.
I know
I
you're
don't know
good.
if you can hear it.
I can't even hear anything.
Oh, you
Honestly.
can't? Okay. Yeah, my girlfriend's getting home. She drives a big ass van, and it's very loud, and it shakes my room every time. So,
No,
yeah.
I think the headphones are like drowning it out. I can only hear you, so I don't even hear it.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Nah, but you're right, man. The more you put yourself out there, the more people are gonna judge. That's the thing I notice. I had somebody I went to high school with. He's a multimillionaire in real estate. He has a book out. And he literally said it. He's like, there's people I guarantee that are like, this dude's a workaholic. He's a like they would talk about him when he was younger, like he's a try hard and stuff. Like I remember he said he worked at AutoZone when he was in high school, and he would try to sell everything he could to get all these connections. And the older guys who worked there would make fun of him. They'd say this, look at him, like he's trying to do all these things. And he's like, meanwhile, I'm cleaning up more commission than these guys do, like on a regular. And so like that's just like one example. Like he's just like, I'm doing all these things and they're making fun of me and talking trash about me. And it's like now it's like if you're somebody on social media, if you're an influencer, you put yourself out there, like you record a lot of content and stuff, people are going to judge, man. And that's the thing. It's like we have to be strong enough to be like not care about that, because it's like people who are doing big things in life, they're not ever going to talk down on someone who's trying to build something for themselves. I feel like it's the people that are genuinely unhappy with their life are the ones that hate. you know I think that's a real
Yeah.
thing. That's a
Oh,
real
for
thing.
sure. And a lot of people who hate on success or people who are going nowhere in life.
100%. a hundred
It,
percent.
they just hate seeing other people's potentials because it shows them what they wasted and what they could have been, but they're not because they wanted to be lazy. They didn't want to put in the work, and they just
Yeah.
want to be, the cool person and go with the flow. But in reality, it just kind of backfires, and they're most likely the people who get stuck in a 9 to 5 job and
Yeah.
don't really like their life, and yeah, it's not good, but it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. You can't control how other people are going to react to your stuff. Like I said, I'm sure. Like I'm what 5+ years into doing this podcast. There's people that probably have made fun of this, or like, oh, look at this person, look at that person. At the end of the day, I don't really care. Like it's just, it is what it is. I know what I'm doing is gonna like help people and like build a platform, and
Yeah,
it's like, you know what I mean. It's like I really don't care like what other people think. Like when I was younger, I did more. I don't care as an adult. Like that's the
yeah,
thing. And I'll say that that's the thing that my dad told me. Growing up, he's like, as you get older, you really don't start to care what people's opinions are. He's like,
no,
yeah, you really don't. Like
no,
it's just,
it's I saw a graphic on Instagram actually that really opened my eyes. It was like at age 10 you care what other people think, at age 20 you realize people don't care what you think, and at age 40 you realize people never cared.
yep.
It's just all in your head. And that really opened me up, and I was just like, "Oh, wow. That's" I don't know if people don't really actually care, but I'm starting to realize, you know what? Maybe that was right. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. That's actually a saying from the movie A Bronx Tale. Sonny, he goes, at the end of the day, nobody cares. Like he's like, no,
Exactly, yeah. No one cares, dude. No
nobody
one no one
cares.
really does, and, it's sad. Like, it is sad, like, oh, no one really cared, besides, your mother, your father, maybe your, other family, and hopefully your significant other cares, but at the end of the day, all you have is yourself. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think you can impact people too, like in the world. If you're a good person and you got good
Mhm.
morals and you stand for something, you can really impact people. And I always say, I was talking to somebody last week. This guy works security, like the one grocery store up the street from me. We'll sometimes like chat real quick because he's a Christian too, and like we were just talking. He's in his 40s, and we were just saying about that. It's like a lot of people are so focused on like all these things. It's like, but when you go to the grave, like how big your house is, how much money you had, none of that stuff. Nobody remembers you for that stuff. What people do
Yeah,
remember for you is the impact you made on people. Like, hey, like
exactly.
how did you impact people? Your
Mhm.
content, it can inspire people, like the story that you've been through and like everything, like how you bounced back, like through all the surgeries and everything, man. To have your like what you're doing is great, man, because I guarantee it's inspiring people.
Oh,
Like,
for sure, 100%. I mean, I've already had people who've said like, "Hey, your content inspires me." And it's not so much that I'm doing it for other people. Like, yes, I really enjoy making content for other people and helping other people out, and that is one of my goals.
yep,
But my main goal is I just want to be able to show up for myself and
yep,
be there for me.
yep.
Like, who cares whatever everyone says? Just be there for me.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And that's good. That's like a byproduct that can come with it. You know what I mean? Like it's
Mhm.
like, hey, you're building something for yourself. You know, you're being there for you, but at the same time, like the byproduct that comes with it is you inspire people too, which is great, man. Yeah, the only one who's ever just gonna be fully like the only person like besides ourselves we can ever really like fully count on is God, right? He's the only one who's gonna love us
100%.
unconditionally. Like
Yeah.
it's just so I love what you're doing, man. Keep
Mhm.
doing it, man. It's great
Thank
content,
you,
man.
yeah.
I also see like your edits get better too, like every single time. Like I'm always seeing like since like when I first met you, like to now, I'm like I see like your edits and like how you like your content, man. It looks good.
Yeah, thank you, yeah, I mean, I learn on the side, I'm 100%, like, self-taught in the aspect of Premiere Pro, I that's the platform I edit on,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I learn through just watching YouTube tutorials, watching tutorials of people who are, like, the best at it and just try to implement it and implement, like, certain things in my edits and make my own little twist on them, and I've had a lot of fun doing that, and it's super fun. Unfortunately, it hasn't really gotten me anywhere, and I feel like it's been a waste of time, but especially now with AI, it's
Yeah.
like, you earned all this editing for what? You can spend $10 for an app and, it can do way better than you can. It's just like, "Ugh, what the heck?" But as I've learned, if you do things a certain way, you can kind of put personality to it, and that's something that AI can't do, is put the authenticity into it.
That is so true. That is so true. Because I would say like I know people in like business too that like tend to prefer to work with human people though, like too. So what you're
Mhm.
doing, I feel like there still will be a market for it. I feel like there's going to
Yeah.
be people that want that personalized touch to it that AI just can't add. I think AI has a lot of pros and cons. I should actually do an episode on that at some point because I use AI a lot
Ooh,
too.
that'd be fun.
Yeah, I use it for this podcast somewhat too, man. Because I'll have like a good idea, like that I want to bring for a podcast, and like I'll talk to like ChatGPT or Gemini or I forget what the other one that I work with is.
Claude?
It's not that. Let me see.
Okay.
My phone actually died. I forget.
Uh,
What is it? Notion. Notion.
Notion. No, okay, Notion.
Notion. Notion. That's what it is. So,
Yeah.
Notion. We have. So I work with a lot of it is Gemini and ChatGPT. But I'll be like, hey, say I got an episode, I got an idea for this podcast. Give me like I'll be like, give me a couple like
Mhm.
promo titles that I could use, and then give me some subtopics that I can put under that. And I'll be like, okay, like give me some more, like add something for this. Like if I had an idea, and it's just like it's interesting, man. It's just it starts to know how you think, and then just like to be able to talk to it. But there's a lot of cons to it too. It does outsource a lot of job. It causes a lot of people to lose their jobs, right? The AI
Mhm.
replaces a lot of
Oh,
jobs,
yeah.
which is unfortunate. A lot of pros and cons. I'm not adverse to it. At first, I was very like adverse, but I do understand that if you have a business, this is kind of the way of the world now. Like it's gonna keep you competitive. It can help you save a lot of time. Just
Oh,
finding a
for sure.
balance finding a
Yeah.
balance and keeping a personalized touch on your business too is important, just like you were saying.
Oh, 100%. I use AI sometimes. Well, most of the time I use AI, but I use only ChatGPT, and ChatGPT I use as more of a brainstorming tool
Yeah.
to kind of help me come up with the idea. And then I will, like, say I have an idea for a video and I want you to make me a script. It'll make me the script, and then I'll kind of make my own script that follows it, and then I'll plug it back in and be like, "Hey, what is the best readability out of it? Can you just switch up some words?" And I don't want you changing the context. That's a big thing I've learned is when I don't want anything really changed, I just want you to define it. I'll tell ChatGPT without changing the context, can you do this? And
Yep.
that's usually what helps it the most. Um, but yeah, I just use it more of a script tool, and then just kind of like if I need it to help me write emails, I'll be like, hey, give me an idea for this email, and then I'll make an email based off of that.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, it's the thing, you can fine tune so many things. You can just keep diving deeper. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna put my personalized touch on this. It's like you said, don't change the context. Don't do this. It's like but you could just and then you can just keep diving down deeper, and then to the point where you get to exactly what you're looking for. Like,
Mhm.
that's how it is. Yeah. So great tool. I definitely got to do an episode on it. I don't think I've done. I don't think I've done a full episode on like AI. Like, and
Oh, wow. Yeah, that'd be an interesting topic.
that'd be a good one, man.
Yeah.
Maybe if I do that like in the future, I'll have to invite you back, man. We can get a group
Okay.
of people because I
Yeah,
have some
they
friends.
have an AI actually that creates these videos. Like, have you seen the videos that the AIs create?
Yeah, and they look real. Like it's like
It's
yeah, it's crazy.
insane.
It is
They're
crazy.
gonna take Hollywood by storm. They're gonna put them out of business.
They really,
'Cause
they really
some
are.
of the stuff it can create is incredible. I'm just like, "Oh, Hollywood better watch out."
Yeah, I literally had to do a cybersecurity training at my job on it because they said for people that like fish and they send you videos and it's like they can take like things of like people that work at your company and it can look like it's them talking to you and it's like it's not like it's crazy like what these
Yeah.
apps can do. So it's like you have and they said which one looks authentic and which one doesn't. You have to take like tests on it and it's like you have to watch how they talk and then you pick
Dude.
up on subtle things that seem off and it's like okay, like they literally made us take a cybersecurity course on it just recently at my job. Like, people trying to hack into the company
Hey,
mainframe and stuff or systems. So
yeah.
when you deal with money,
Mhm.
but yeah, man, I think this is a good episode, man. I think we covered a lot of stuff. I'll pull up Facebook. I pulled up on my computer because I had it on my phone, but my phone did die. That's on me. Yeah, charge my phone
It's
before
all good. Yeah, just remember to charge your phone, kids.
yeah,
It's
don't
just
make the same mistake that Steve did over here.
yeah. We're just telling the kids to charge their phones even though they shouldn't have them. Make
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
you charge
right.
them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a hell of a lot of views. I don't see any comments on Facebook, but I have two groups, so let's see.
Oh, all right.
So let's see. Lots of views though. Got a ton of views, guys. This one
That's
got
good.
a lot of views. Both of them have a lot of views, so it's like so we'll see as people go. But they got over 100 views on like both of them. Like all right, like got a lot of views coming in, and then they pile up
Good.
usually throughout the week. So as we're going, so
Yeah.
yeah, man, I appreciate you taking the time to come on. Like I said, it would just wound up being us, but that's okay. And Joy, thank you for the
Oh, yeah,
for the
no
information you
problem,
gave
no
me
problem.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was great, guys. But Zach, we'll definitely be in touch, brother.
Mhm.
Like I said, I wish you the best of luck on your journey, man. I'll definitely have to make a trip out to California, maybe sometime this summer or something. Fly out there,
Okay. Yeah.
man.
Yeah, come when the weather is super, super nice.
Exactly. We gotta link up, man.
And
Well, thank you for
don't
taking the time, brother. Thank you for your perspective. I appreciate you.
oh, yeah, for sure, for sure. Don't come in the middle of August, though. In the middle of August, it's hotter than Satan's butt crack out here. Not gonna lie. But yeah.
All right. Good tip. Good to
But
know.
yeah, thank you for having me on. Super, super fun. As always, it's been a pleasure. And remember, go Broncos.
And go Birds. Maybe that'll be the Super Bowl next year.
Hopefully. Yeah. All right.
All right, brother. God bless,
Thank you,
man.
thank you.
Take care, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a good night, guys.
Good night.